It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I am Iron Man.
I'm Pickle Rick!
I have a dream.
I am your father.
I'm Sean Spencer. This is my partner, Gus Silly Pants Jackson.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
God bless America.
Avengers!
Assemble.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And it's funny as
What
they say.
is going on, everybody? Welcome back to life. I am giddy. I'm overjoyed today. I have not been able to podcast in so long. And so, hi, welcome. This might be 4 hours. I don't actually know. If you've ever been to one of those tent revivals where like the speaker number 8 comes up and you're like, oh boy, we're about to close. Like, this is the closer. This is the big name. And then that guy's like, I'm going to bring up 7 other people. Oh, great. I feel like that's where we might be at today. I might be bringing up 7 other people. This is nuts. It's been transparently, I've been dealing with a lot of health stuff. So I haven't literally felt good enough to do a lot of things, and podcasting is one of them, and I love podcasting. It's just such a passion of mine. And so for the last 5 or 6 months, I got to the point where it was just debilitating. I couldn't pick my head up off a pillow. I couldn't look at screens. I couldn't focus. I've been to 4 or 5 different specialists. I've been to everyone under the sun in Vanderbilt trying to figure it out. I've given more urine samples to them than I have a toilet at my house. Like, it's nuts. I've just, every test under the sun I've taken. When you get sick, I don't know what it is, but when you're in and out of doctor's offices, for some reason, they always want you to be in your underwear. They're just like, could you just get undressed? I was like, I thought we were just getting blood work done today. They're like, just get undressed. You're always undressed, and there's always 17 college students that have to be there to observe what's going on. And most of the time, they go like, hey, would you like 17 freshman girls to come in here while you're in your underwear? And I'm like, no, thank you. No one needs to see. Yeah, I was like, I'm good. And they're like, too late. They're already in here. And they pull back the curtain. And you're
you're just there for everybody.
More people have seen me naked than I can count in the last 6 months. It's nuts. Where is the policy in these hospitals where it's like, no one's allowed to see me naked? Like, the doctor can peek, but other than that, no one should be seeing me naked at these hospitals. But it's been months of trying to figure things out in every doctor's office. Every test under the sun, and I think we basically, like I said, it just got to the point where I couldn't function at all, and I was just MIA from the world, and I told Hannah, I was like, the second I feel good enough, I want a podcast. I love podcasting. I was like, regardless, I'm just passionate about this, and I was like, regardless if it's for 20 minutes or an hour and a half, I want a podcast, and so we're here, man, and we're getting healthy. On our way. Hannah's a big help in this, guys, because we had I had my first holistic encounter. Is that the best way to put it? What do you talk about? What are these gypsies called?
No, it's holistic medicine.
Okay,
yeah.
So
or functional medicine is another way to say it.
No, it's gypsies, witchcraft, whatever it is. So Hannah goes, hey, I gotta talk to you. Okay. She's like, it's about your health. And I thought she was acting like she was trying to break it to me that I'm just going to die. And I was waiting for her to be like, I hope you don't mind if I remarry in 3 years. I was like, this is such a weird, somber. She's like, it's about your health. And I was just like, okay, am I dying? Do I not know I'm dying? I was like, are there 17 college students in another room about to come look at me naked? What's going on? And so she's like, I think we've tried all of the specialists. We've gone to everybody in Vanderbilt. You're still not getting much better. I think you should go see a holistic doctor. Now, holistic is what holistic means for those of you who don't know. It just means doesn't work, right? No. So I am very I grew up in a family where doctors do real well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're just, whatever our issue is, there's a dude in a lab coat that's like, you'll be fine in 4 days. Like that's just how my family's operated. My dad is doctors are this. You know what I mean? He's just always been that way. So we never experienced like homegrown honey. I don't even know how this stuff is, but like homegrown honey ointment that heals broken bones in a day. I don't know any of it.
But which that's kind of my background. I grew up the complete opposite, where we didn't go to like a Western medicine doctor until
or a real doctor. Sorry, but continue.
Until it's like that's when you knew it was bad. Was when we were at I don't want to say real, like, but we were at a real doctor. So it's just interesting kind of merging those two. And so
I go, she goes, I went ahead because I have access and I canceled your next appointment at Vanderbilt. To which I replied, wonderful. It only took me 3 months to get in. Thank God we're going to this holistic witchcraft. And so Hannah tried to explain to me, and a lot of people did. There's a lot of people in my life that are like, Jacob, if you've never been, it's weird. Like, you just have to embrace the weirdness. I'm a weird dude, like I'm a nerd. I'm everybody's a little weird, okay? And so I was like, all right, I can handle it. I can, and so I get the address, I get the appointment or whatever, and I go to this holistic place. So I pull up to a restaurant, and I go, hey, I'm calling Hannah, and I go, you sent me the wrong address. I'm sitting at some vegan restaurant. And she's just like, well, no, that's where she's at. I'm like, but I don't think you understand. They're making oat milk, soy, goat lattes, or whatever vegans and holistic people do. I was like, I don't understand. I'm at the wrong place. So I walk in, I go to the front counter, and they're like, what can we get you to eat? And I was like, Gina. Gina was a doctor's name. And they're like, oh, yeah, 1 second. And then out of basically a broom closet emerges this lady. And I was waiting for her to have like a lot of bright red ruby jewelry on and some sort of silky shirt. She was in jeans. She looked like a normal person.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be as weird as everybody said. And I'm only telling you my experience just because it's this. If you've never been to a holistic, this is 100% true. I'm not even making any of this up. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. So I sit down and she goes, have you ever dealt with this type of holistic healing and this type of health treatment before? And I go transparently, my family thinks doctors do a really good job. Like, I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. My wife canceled the only doctor I was able to see over the last 3 months and sent me here. And I said, we're here. And she's like, so how do you feel about this type of holistic healing? And I said, oh, I don't think you want me to answer that one. Because I was like, well, let's put it this way. My sister tried to sell me essential oils in a pyramid scheme for years of my life, and I didn't buy into that. I was like, so if this also involves crystals being shoved into your ear or whatever weird thing, I was like, I might be out. But I said, listen, I'll give it an honest try. And so we sit down. And she's sitting at the, computer, and she goes, start talking to me. And she goes, hang on, put your hand up here. So I put my hand on the table, right? And she puts her 2 fingers like this, and she puts it on top of my hand. And she has like a case of vials. Like, it's like what scientists, in the cartoons, the scientists pour like potions out of vials. It's that. I don't know what else to call it. It's what it is. It's vials. She has a case of like 70 vials and a stack of CDs. That's what's at this doctor's visit. And I'm like, oh, we'll get to him in a second. But I was like, that's what's at this doctor's appointment is a case of vials and a stack of CDs. So she has her computer out. She has one hand on me. She's typing, and she's like hovering her hand over vials of potions and metals or something. Mysticness. I don't know what was in the vials. I don't know. But there was that, right? So she's waving her hand over that. On top of waving her hand over that, then she turns to the CD stack and she just starts pulling out CDs. So she starts pulling out CDs. She starts pulling out vials. I'm sitting there. She has 2 fingers on my hand, and she looks at me and she goes, your body's been speaking to me. And I said, ma'am, my body only speaks for one woman in my life, and that's my wife. I don't know what. the frick are you talking about? My body's speaking to you. And I was like, get your hand off me. Gypsy woman trying to, I was like, my body doesn't speak to anybody, right? And so, I'm not exaggerating. And she's like, so she explains to me that my body reacted with electromagnetic impulses. Like, the only time I've ever heard that phrase was in Iron Man, because that shoots out of his suit. So I was like, what do you mean, like Iron Man? What are we talking about here? And long story short, she figures out 38 things that are wrong with me. And, I'm giving it the good college try. I told her, I said, I will dedicate a month to this. And, because it's a 1 month treatment to see where I'm at. So I said, I'll give you a month, and I will dedicate for a month. And I said, I will want nothing more than to in a month be like, I told you were full of crap, but we're in it now.
I'm very excited for you to see the results, because I know
everybody swears by it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a skeptic out there like me, if you're like, I would rather go to the ER, that like I'm with you, but everybody in my life swears by it. And I mean, people that were like me, very anti-holistic, swear by it, says it's some type of voodoo healing, witchcraft. They're like, it's amazing. I don't even know how to describe it.
I mean, I won't get into it because I'm very passionate about it, but it's pretty much just training your body to do what it was created to do.
Yeah, we're not going to get it. I'm not doing this. First episode back, I'm not getting into, I'm not giving them the lecture that you give me. It's like, God created your body to heal within its own aura. So, stop. No, we're good. But yeah, so I start that journey. I've started that journey like very recently. So not recently, or I'm not long enough in it to where I can let you know if anything's working, but I'm definitely going to keep you posted. But that's kind of where I'm at with this whole health journey. The best part is they go, or she goes, all right, when do you want to come back? Like, when do I need to see you? And I go, well, and she goes, shh. I was like, okay, you're asking me a question. And she goes, put your hand back up on the table. I go, okay. So I put my hand on the table, and she reaches over and she goes, 1 month and 3 days. Puts it in the computer. I was like, what was that? And she goes, your body told me when it needed to come back. So weird is an understatement. Does it work? We'll find out. But if you've never experienced the holistic and you're very much like me, oh boy, it's fun. If you've got $140 to burn, I'm telling you, do it. Because you need to experience this once in your life. But yeah, that's honestly kind of where I'm at in that journey. And it's been, so I've been dealing with that health stuff. What else is new since we last spoke? We got a dog.
We have a little puppy now. Oh, he's precious.
So here's how I got the puppy. Because I didn't set out for a puppy. You know what I mean? I didn't set out for this. It's kind of like crack. You don't set out to find it. Sometimes you just do. You know what I mean? No. No. So I looked at Hannah and I said, hey, we need to get a new Christmas tree. Our old one broke. I said, let's run to Hobby Lobby. And there's this brand new, beautiful pet store right beside Hobby Lobby that sells puppies. I didn't know that. She probably knew that. So I was like, we go to Hobby Lobby. We look for the tree. I find the tree. I go, I want that tree. She goes, okay, we don't buy the tree, even though we needed it. And on our way out, she's like, well, we'll just come back another time, which I thought was her way of trying to get me to the puppy store. Because when we pulled in, I said no, because she kept asking. On our way out, I was like, no. And so she's like, well, we'll just come back and get the tree because my car's filled with junk. So I go, okay, we'll just come back. And she goes, but please, we go to drive by, and she goes, just one quick pet. And I was like, I ask for one quick pet all the time, and I don't get anything, but I'm just saying. I don't mean it in a way. No, so we go into this pet store. We get 3 minutes in, Hannah starts crying. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a grown adult in your life that breaks down crying at a dog shelter. But a lot of people they don't look at that as like sweet. They either look at that, a lot of times they look at the husband as like, is he beating you? Is that why you ran in here? Like, no one looks at a woman crying in public and is like, I'm sure it's out of something passionate and sweet. No. So everybody starts turning to me and they're like, "Are you okay, ma'am?" And she's like, so she's crying in a pet store. And I walk up to her and this one dude starts walking towards me because I'm pretty sure he thought like I was coming and be like, "Oh, there you are. How did you escape?" Like that's how the guy was treating me. And looking at us, which if you follow me on any socials, looking at me in the or at her in the face was this little brown dapple miniature dachshund, long hair. Well, he was nameless, but his name is Max now.
Yeah.
And so they put you in like this little area where you can play with the puppy. So we're playing with the puppy, and it is adorable. Don't get me wrong. I knew if I walked in there that this is my issue. Is I have a big heart, and I knew the second I walked in there, I was like, "Dadgummit, I'm getting a dog." Which it beats having the baby conversation again, because I have that every other week, and I was like, "How about a puppy?" And she's like, "But a baby would be amazing." And so I just kept pushing the puppy and baby conversation down the road, and I was like, it was adorable. And so the people come up to me, they tell me the price. I said, "Do you take cars as collateral?" Because oh my lord. And I was like, no, we're going to go home and think about it and pray about it. And they go, "Well, this dog's going to be gone at 8 a.m. tomorrow." They're like, "There's 6 families lined up. The first family on the list is coming to get him at 8 a.m. or whatever when we open. So don't bother. This little guy's going to be gone." I go, "Okay. This little guy's going to be gone." So I told Hannah, I spun it as if he's still there in the morning, I will, then it's a sign that God wants us to have this puppy. And so I went home and she went home. We both prayed very different prayers. She prayed Max would somehow show up at our house unannounced at 3 a.m. I was praying that somehow Max had eaten poison dog food and that I was just praying that I was like, I'm praying that this dog is not available. Yeah. She's praying that this dog is available. And so I got honest with God. I was like, "Well, listen, God, if he's still there at, past 8 o'clock, I will call on him again and we'll see what we can do." So 8 o'clock rolls around. I don't hear anything. And they told me that they would call me if the dog was still available. So I just assumed dog's gone. I moved on with the day. Hannah is crying probably at another convenience store just to make it awkward. So Hannah, we're just living our life. About 2 o'clock calls. "Hello, is this Jacob?" And I go, "It is." They go, "Hey, your dog's ready." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And they go, that little brown dachshund that you were looking at? Yeah. We were told that if it was available by like 1 or 2 o'clock that we were supposed to just prepare it for you guys to come in and get it. So your dog's ready. We just need a form of payment and we'll deliver it to your house tonight. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Thank you, God, for allowing this dog to be there. I'm so grateful. And so they delivered the dog that night. Yeah.
It was really cute. I had no idea because in my brain he was gone. They hadn't called us back. I
also kept reiterating, it was one of those things where I was just like, "He's gone." Yeah. That way, when he actually was gone, she didn't have an emotional breakdown on me. I just kept. It's like when your dog gets sick as a kid and your parents are like, "He's gonna die soon," and they just keep telling you that. So that way, when he dies, you knew it was coming. I was doing that with her.
Yeah.
I was just like, "He's probably gone."
It was like it was a very emotional day, and I was just like, "Okay, I guess we're not. This dream dog is not gonna be mine." And then it was really funny because we had plans to go to dinner. So I was dressed. I was ready to go to dinner. Unbeknownst to me, this dog who's barking at my feet.
Oh, right on cue. Look at that.
Hi, Max. Was being dropped off. And I didn't understand because the drop off, I guess, was delayed. And if you know anything about me, when I have my mind set on something, it needs to happen. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm hungry. We're supposed to be going to dinner. Why am I still sitting in the driveway of my house?
Well, it did get to the point where it's like we're sitting in the driveway, and I kept trying to stall because the time kept getting pushed for when they were going to drop them off. And so I keep trying to stall. I forgot my phone. I forgot whatever. Like, I'm letting my car warm. I'm just getting. So she's just sitting there, and she's just angry that we're not at dinner right now. Yeah. And she's just like, "Why aren't we going? What's going on? What are we taking so long for?" And I'm like,
at one point he's like, "Let's go get the mail."
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was trying to be sweet, while she's upset because we're not eating at the time. Because I did have her dressed and sitting in a driveway for 38 minutes. Like this whole long period of time's going on. She's sitting there getting more and more angry by the minute. I'm getting more angry because this dog's supposed to show up. And then eventually, to keep her from killing me, I was like, your dog will be here in, at this point, the same time that FedEx will be between 4 and 9 o'clock tonight. That's all I knew. And so, yep, they delivered little Max, and he's running around in the office right now. So if you want, sorry if you hear him nice and loud in the microphone, but Max, you want to come say hi?
No.
Nope. Okay, sounds good.
No.
He's giving me that look like he's about to just squat and pee just
out of spite. Yeah. Oh.
So then, yeah, we got a dog, and
he's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a testament. You know those? Have you seen those TikToks where it's like, if you want your boyfriend to propose to you, you just send him a bunch of like pictures and videos of rings, and then just into his phone, just talk like proposal, engagement ring, so that all his phone is showing him is that, and then it happens. I kind of did that with.
I did the same thing. Never mind. I can't make that joke. Move on.
Oh my gosh! I was going to say, ladies, it works because been sending you pictures and videos of this exact dog for literal years, and look at us now.
Well, yeah, but because like I said, it was either this or a dog or a baby, and I was much more equipped for a baby right now.
You mean a dog?
I was just like, she was like, how about that baby? Like, honestly, the day after she thought the dog was gone, she just sent me a text, and she's just like, how about a baby ? I'm like, can we buy one of those at that store too? Like,
well, and in my brain, because I've had puppies before, I was like, oh, it'll kind of be like, it'll be kind of like what it is to have a baby. Like, you're going to have to wake up in the middle of the night to take it out to go potty.
No, she kept telling me to get a puppy because it would prepare me to be a dad.
Yeah, you're going to have to deal with potty training, so you're going to be dealing with poop on the floor.
Yeah.
You're going to be dealing with screaming. First night, sleeps through the night. Doesn't poop in his crate. Like, doesn't cry.
Pretty well potty trained. Literally, the only time he barks is when he's hungry or when he wants us to play with him, like he's trying to do right now.
Whenever we're in the middle of something, that's when he likes to bark.
That's about the only time. Other than that, this dog sleeps through the night. He's pretty well potty trained, and Hannah just kept trying to prepare me on how hard having a puppy was. And she's like, "This prepares you for fatherhood." I'm like, "Listen, if this is what fatherhood looks like sign me. I will get you that baby because this is so easy."
Yeah. Not quite what it's like. And then I'm terrified because, when people have a baby and it's like an easy baby, it sleeps through the night, whatever, they go, just wait for your second one. And then the second one is always the complete opposite. It's just a menace. And that's how they get you. I'm like, dude, our baby, we have a puppy who's just a wonderful little angel, except for right in this very moment, our baby's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a puppy. And then she woke me up. So Hannah started a new job. And so Hannah started a new job.
In the midst of all the other things.
Yeah, on top of everything. So it's just like chaos, and it was great. And there was great things happening, but everything was just kind of chaotic. So Hannah started a new job, right? And so she's now gone every single day. And so we couldn't leave the puppy here alone. God forbid. So, how dare we leave this puppy alone? We need to my options were he's knocking over the camera. She's like, let's buy another dog, to which I replied, you're out of your mind. And then she goes, all right, not a problem. Silence for 2 or 3 days. Okay. So it's 7:45 on a Saturday. She wakes me up like she was warning me for Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I was waiting. She woke me up like a bomb was about to be dropped. Jacob. Oh my, what? And she goes, we're about to be late to our appointment. I go, what are you talking? What are we talking about? And she goes, we are viewing doggy daycares today. Huh? So before I tour a facility for my human baby, I'm traveling across the state of Tennessee to the doggy daycare that best suits our needs.
I am kind of the epitome of like the super extra ridiculous dog mom. Like,
you don't say. The fact that
I did birth this dog.
You're letting me know what doggy hotel he's going to stay at for our vacation in September. We're vetting out. She would walk into a doggy daycare and look around and go, nope, these dogs aren't good enough. And then she would leave. What do you mean? It's a dog. We walked into one place. She gets through the front door, looks around, and goes, "Too much dog hair," and walks out. Hey, it's a dog place. There's going to be dog hair everywhere. And so, yeah, I can't.
But now we found
But that's
a place
that's
and
us.
He
We
loves
got a
it.
dog.
Yeah. And now our entire family's terrified for us to have a human baby.
Well, they're terrified for us to have a baby because you're a psychopath. Because, yeah, I'm not, like, we're going to be touring daycares before it's even born, and you're just going to walk in and go, she's too fat to take care of my kid. It smells like babies in here. Too much hair. Whatever. And then you as a husband, this is the awkward part, you as a husband, you can't be like, woman, get over it, because it's 2025. You can't be like, woman, shut your mouth, let's see what it's like. No, you just have to sit there and go like, you're right. I'm so sorry that you're overweight and cannot take care of my child. Like, what that has to do with it, I don't know. But, my wife says no. And then you just, like, tuck your tail between your legs and you just walk out. So, yeah. We're planning on having a baby soon. Pray for me. What else is going on, man? Trump's back. Trump's all the way back.
Yep.
So country's looking like it's going in a better direction. Here's the only thing, and I'm not going to say anything much more about Trump besides the fact that Daddy Trump is back. My favorite thing about Trump right now is the fact that because he only has 4 years, is the fact that Trump is just going in with amazing, great policy changes, and we're downsizing government, we're cutting taxes and the cost of food, and we're changing the name of Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, okay, because you can't believe everything you see on TikTok. And I saw it on TikTok first. And I was like, this has got to be AI. Like, there's no way that there's wars going on. There's all this stuff going on. And that's what he's that's what he's focusing on.
Yeah, I
right
thought
now.
it was fake. And then he had his big speech, like right before he took office, he had his big speech. And he's like, we're going to stop the war. We're going to have peace across this country. And you're like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're going to have cheaper gas. We'll have cheaper food. You're like, oh, heck yeah,
love it.
Trump.
Okay.
And he's like, we're changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico. And I love the fact that that's the part where people are like, yeah, woo! And he's like, no longer is it the Gulf of Mexico, but the Gulf of America. I'm like, I didn't know this was part of his agenda. And then 5 seconds after, then he's like, we're going to have insurance companies pay for infertility. We're going to, like, another great, amazing things. And he's like, we're taking over Greenland. I'm like, what is going on? We're in a movie.
I was with some girls and we were watching it on a computer and we all just stopped, looked at each other. We were like, did he really? Like, oh no, he really said that. And we rewound it to see, like, we were like, there's no way that we all heard that correctly.
We're downsizing government. Also, Canada, welcome to be the 51st state of America. And it's like, here's why people hate Trump and love Trump.
Yeah.
And I get now I'm not talking about the extreme. I'm talking about the people that are like sensible people. It's like, I love his, like, 10 of his policies.
Yeah.
But then he does have 3 that are just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
He does have 3 or 4 where you're just like, that's a part that we've got to.
Yeah.
The Gulf of America is so important. Like that.
That's on our, like, 90-day or whatever his thing is. Like,
on my
that's
90-day plan, illegal immigration will be stopped. And the Gulf of Mexico will be the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I feel like that's lower on the priority list, but
It does make politics entertaining again. And, I miss having someone in the White House where when all of these, like, reporters and stuff are or the governor of Maine the other day, the governor of Maine starts arguing.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I'll see you in court. That's right. I'll enjoy it. All right. And then he goes back to his speech about who knows what. So yeah, Daddy Trump is back in office. Hannah's on not only just financial TikTok, but she's on Dave Ramsey TikTok.
God.
So, because I told her we're trying to hit very specific goals in our life, this year, and we have several milestones and growth points we want to hit, and we kind of, you sit down at the beginning of the year, and here's our 12 milestones, and so one of our big things is finances, and we want to make sure that when we're getting ready to settle down and start looking to have a kid, that like we're ready and we're capable to have our kid, and we're not drowning in debts, or we're not. Hey, stop messing up my sentimental moment. You're gonna have to go get his toy, otherwise he's gonna bark. But anyway, so we're talking about we want to hit certain milestones, right? I was like, we want to hit some financial goals. We want to hit some fitness goals, some health goals. Like, there's a lot of things we want to happen in order to take that next step in our lives, which is, start looking at having kids and buying and or trying to maybe look at building a house. Like, there's a lot of steps that we're trying to take here.
That whole, like, being a responsible
adult being an adult
sucks.
and trying to vet ourselves and figure out where we can be better and how we can grow in 2025 and not stay stagnant, which is amazing. Great. I think any couple should sit down and hit those goals, and then we have a monthly meeting, like a business meeting. I'll go, if I'm at home in my pajamas, I'll go put on a suit if it's meeting night. Like, I come out and I'm in business attire, and it's all about business, and we have a business meeting. We audit the month, or and what are we spending? What can we save? Where can we grow? How can we get healthier this month? How can we do X, Y, Z? X. Anyways, so it's a great tool, and it's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to it's a great thing for your marriage. Honestly, it has helped us, especially on the communication stuff. It has helped us dramatically. Because you know where finances are going, you know where your health goals are, you know if you're growing or if you're staying stagnant or if you're falling behind. It's great. It's awesome. So Hannah, like I said, I love my wife, but she is very much like she when I started going to doctors, she made me a folder like I was in 7th grade with tabs on the top, and I had to walk in with this folder to doctors like I was a child turning in my homework and go, "Here, Mr. or Mrs. Doctor, here is my chart in my folder. This has all my CDs. This is labeled alphabetically." Like, that's my wife. Love it. It's amazing. The doctor's very appreciative of it. They're like, "Oh, thank you so much." Me, I like to go in and just chaotic it, you know what I mean? Just let's be straight chaos. And so, Hannah's that way with all this other stuff. And so we got to the finance side and the business side. So she just started putting together these whole portfolios, and then she got on Dave Ramsey TikTok. Now, I don't know how many of you feel about Dave Ramsey. I am not what you would call a Dave Ramsey fan. I think Dave Ramsey has some good ideas per se. The issue with Dave Ramsey that I have is Dave Ramsey is good for the people that don't know how to use money. He's not really good for the people that have money, is kind of the way I've always seen it. It's like, he's great on teaching you how to save money and how to get out of debt, and he's got some good principles. I'm just not a massive Dave Ramsey fan. And it could be for the fact that I went for a job interview and they told me to get lost effective immediately. But, I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey guy. My wife, big Dave Ramsey fan. And here's how I found out. And this is also a true story. Here's how I found out. My wife comes up to me and hands me an envelope, and I go, "Oh, we got a letter. This is cool. Who's it from?" The only people that send letters are spam or IRS. Like, I was like, "Who sent me a letter?" And I open up the letter, and it's got like $122 in there, and on the front of it, it says "play money." And I was like, are we playing a game? Is this fake money? What are we talking about here? And then she hands me another envelope, and it says bills. And then she hands me another envelope, and it says, well, whatever that one says. It says food. And she keeps handing me envelopes. And I go, "What is this?" And she goes, "Jacob, I've been watching a lot of Dave Ramsey lately, and I love the envelope method."
I'm a very visual person, and I'm a very budget-oriented
person. I was like, no, we're not. I was like, I'm not putting my money in envelopes all around the house. And here's where I drew the line. Here's where I was like, you're done with Dave Ramsey. Is we go to dinner one night, whatever our bill is, $46.52. I go to pull out my card. She goes, no, I got this. I go, "Oh, well, we have a joint bank account, so it doesn't matter if you pay with the credit card or I pay with the credit card. It's all coming out of the same place." And so I go, "Okay." And she goes, "Check your jacket pocket." Turn around in my jacket. I pull out an envelope in the middle of a Chili's that she had pre-put into my jacket. Now, if you've ever pre-pulled out an envelope before to Chili's, but even Chili's people are like, this dude's insane. I have a grandma, though. I mean, not anymore. They're both dead. But I had a grandma. She lived by the as much debt as I can accumulate as possible until I die rule. And I will say, it's a great way to live until you realize it falls back on everybody else in your life. Is like because when my grandma died, it was like, oh, she had a good life and had nice things, and everybody was always confused about how she had all these things. And what she did was she literally took out 30 or 40 credit cards, and then she just accumulated as much debt as possible and then died. Now, that all blew back on us because, not me, but like her daughters that were all having to figure out how to get out of this debt mess. But honestly, it's like if I hit 60, I might just start being like, I'm going to accumulate as much debt as possible and leave it to my kids. Just pile it up, baby.
About that. Why in my brain, like, when you die, your debt dies? I didn't even think about the fact that, like, when you die, your family has
Someone's got to handle the debt, dude. It doesn't just go away. You're one step away from being the car girl. I totaled my car. I still have to pay it off. It's like, well, yeah. No, but that's the way one of my grandmas lived. She was just like, I'm just gonna spend it all now, and then my kids can figure it out when I'm dead. You know, she's up in heaven singing with the Lord. We're down here trying to, pinch pennies and
pay off her Macy's card.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on. We're doing all that financial stuff, and it's,
But I mean, you kind of said it earlier. I would highly recommend it. And I was getting my hair done the other day, and I was talking to my friend who does my hair, and it blew her mind, the fact that we, like, sit down and have these conversations.
Oh, a lot of people don't. Dude, a lot. We have the most healthy marriage of all time. No.
No.
We get angry about getting puppies and not getting food quick enough, but it's like I will. It's a rule that I instated because I'm a very, if you can't tell or if you know me, I like to talk. I like to talk things through. And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I read it in a book about how healthy it is to sit down and talk about the stuff, like the awkward stuff of like, hey, what's our health goals? How much weight are you trying to lose? And then holding your spouse to that. Now, it's not, if she didn't lose the 7 pounds that she wanted, I don't at the end of the month shame her. Like, hey, fatty. I thought you said you're going to lose 7. You only lost 4. Fat. Like, I don't sit there and shame her and yell at her. Like, but, sitting down, it just helps us flesh out, like, okay, here's where we were in January. Here's where we are in February. Yeah. Did anything get better? Did it stay the same? Are we growing? Are we stagnant? Where can our marriage improve? What are we fighting about the most? What are it at first it does get very defensive because if you audit yourself for your bills for an entire month, and if you have like a joint bank account like us and you go, oh, how the heck did you spend $290 at Target? How did you spend $150 at the comic book store? Like whatever it is, it's like, it helps you vet it and see each other's weaknesses and where you can get better, and it's very beneficial, I will admit.
But you have a built-in accountability partner, and I think that's the best part. Is like, at least for me personally, I do so much better when I set goals for myself, and somebody can look at me and be like, "Hey, I think you're like."
Well, a lot of people. That's the thing is like you have to be open to the accountability. A lot of people are not open to that.
I mean, I wasn't at first. You can attest to that.
Oh, no. No. At first, you were the worst, to be honest. Yeah. Like, at first, I know that. Because I'm very much like, tell me how I can get better, and I will improve.
Yeah.
And, like, anybody at my work can tell I'm just, that's how I operate.
Yeah.
My wife is very much like, tell me I can get better, and then I'm going to get really mad at you telling me, even though I asked, and then I'm going to cry, and it's going to be really awkward, because I will wait to cry until we're in, like, a Kroger, and I'm like, she always waits to cry until we're in, like, a very public spot, and and then everybody's, like I said, looking at me like I'm beating her, and she's just like, no, I just didn't lose enough weight this month, or I spent too much money, and I'm like, oh, what the frick. Anytime she starts doing that, I know everybody's like, you need to hug your wife, you need to love that woman and hug on her and hold her while she's crying. If you cry in public, no, it is not my responsibility to go anywhere near you. And in fact, when she starts crying, I'll just go, I'll look at her and be like, what side of the store are we on? oh, we're in Kroger and we're over by the bread, I'm going to,
The pharmacy.
yeah, I was like, I'm going to the pharmacy, and I just start walking all the way that way. A lot of people, you're such a bad person. It's like, no,
Hey,
your wife just cry. If she's crying in a Cracker Barrel because she didn't hit her monthly goal, I feel like I should be allowed to take my biscuits and gravy to a different table. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, let's be honest, I cry a lot though.
But no. Oh, really? I couldn't tell. But no, man. So yeah, man. I mean, 2025, the year of health and wealth is what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Like, when we say wealth, a lot of people think it's dollar signs. I'm talking about like spiritually, physically, relationship wise.
There's a lot more to wealth. Like, there's a lot of people who have a lot of money and are miserable, and I never want to be at that point. Like, I want to be rich.
I would like to be at the lot of money point, but continue.
Yes, but not miserable.
I wouldn't mind being a little sad if I had a. If I had a,
you
know what cures sadness? A 4-wheeler. Let me listen, God. You can don't let my wife limit this family, God. You can bless me with as much money as you want. I'm just saying. But yeah, man. 2020, the year of health and wealth. Just like you said, though, it's like you can continue. I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
Wealth is not just money.
Yeah, and I think that
it's puppies too.
It is. It's little puppies that bark every time we're trying to do something productive.
It's little puppies, or it's it's holistic doctors. It's those. Yeah, 2025 health and wealth. I mean, listen, I'm just glad to be back on.
It feels so good
pod.
to be back. Yeah.
There's one video I am going to show you, and I tried to hire this guy to sing to you on Valentine's Day. Now, I know we're past Valentine's Day, but I did try to hire this guy to sing to you on Valentine's Day, and I won't play the whole video because I want to get copywritten. But he's $1,000 for like a 30-second song.
Oh my gosh, absolutely
and,
not.
I didn't want to at next month's meeting have to justify why I spent $1,000 on a joke, but I almost did. So let's here. See if you can get this.
Play the game. Time to play the game.
Oh, wait
serious?
for it. Yeah, he's serious. Wait for it.
Oh my god.
It's all about the game. And how you play it, all about control. And if you can't take it, all about you.
I have listened to that video so many times. Like I wanted to hire, I think, what's his name? Mark or something on TikTok. Mark Anderson, number 8 or something like that. So be sure to check him out. If you want to laugh the hardest you've ever laughed.
Is that just what he does?
Oh, he just covers songs. He's getting hired to. This is what is insane about the internet and life. This man is getting hired all over the country to be brought in and play and sing. But like for real. Not like a gag, like, it's probably a gag, but he's being brought in like to open for Drake and sing songs. It's just nuts.
And you have people in downtown Nashville who are literally fighting for a spot.
Screw those people. This man needs to become more famous. Like I said, if I could justify it $1,000 for Valentine's Day, you were gonna wake up to him singing whatever. But it's the best. So there you go. There's a little video to end the podcast with. Listen, guys. Thank you for listening. If you've listened, Instagram Royal Rumble. I'm thinking WWE. I'm so sorry. But Rumble, YouTube. We're gonna be back to posting pretty regularly on there. So should have a new episode every week. I'm feeling a lot better. Barring any other health stuff, we'll be back. I've talked a while without water. We will be back. So yeah, have a good one. That's life.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April.